Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Just Sayin. Thank you. It's going to be a good show today. We are kicking off Back to School Month with the elementary age, including pre-K and kindergarten. But before we do that, we have a little tradition here where I have to answer the question, what is Josh drinking? And on the show today, I'm drinking none other than good old Mountain Dew. Refreshing. As I mentioned, this week we are kicking off our Back to School Month with elementary age, as well as the pre-K and kindergarten. So next week, we are going to talk about the junior high kids, and I have an announcement about next week's show. So let's go ahead and get into the rundown. Sorry, my mouse decided to just quit working, and now I'm thrown off. Okay, so next week's episode will not be posted on the 13th like it's supposed to. It will be posted probably the 14th or 15th. This coming Friday, is the anniversary of my mom's 1 year passing. And so I just don't know what kind of mood I'm going to be in. I'm not sure I'm going to be up for filming this weekend. So I just kind of want to give myself an extra day to be able to film in case I'm not in the mood to film when I normally do. And I apologize that this episode is getting out so late tonight. I had a version done and I decided to watch it again, and I just was not happy with it. And then I had to work this morning, so I'm just now getting the chance to do it. But I will get it posted as soon as I can. So remember, next Sunday's episode will be a couple of days late. And I hope that you understand. Maybe I'll maybe I'll feel like filming. I don't know. But maybe producer man will come over and make me film to get my mind off of it. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But don't be surprised if it's a couple days late, I should say. Also, in this episode, the first segment I'm going to do is kind of a bonus segment. I want to say a few words, well, a lot of words, to my mom. If you guys don't mind, have a little honor my mom in an episode, so that way it's in the episode before she had passed, and I will explain why in that little spiel. So, moving right along, let's get into the news. A recent interview, Logan Paul has stated that back in the time when Jake Paul was going through all the whatever he was going through, because frankly I really don't give a damn about it, but apparently Logan and Jake's father was concerned for his mental state, because he had at one point said, and I quote, "It was really easy to rip me apart. It became a thing to hate Jake Paul. It's not easy to be hated by the whole world," end quote. And because of that, they kind of feared for his safety. And I could understand that. And what I don't get is, and keep in mind, I have no idea what his scandal was about. And frankly, I don't care. But you have to remember there's a moth flying around. And I just noticed it, sorry. You have to realize that some people do things for example, YouTube, that gets them views. And you can't, if it's playing pranks on somebody, that's what they do. You know what I mean? And like I said, I don't know the scandal behind it. Maybe I should educate myself a little bit so I know, but I don't understand why everyone hated him, because that's what he does. You don't hate Drew Carey because he hosts The Price is Right. You know, I don't understand it, but I don't know. Then again, I try not to purposely upset people. Anyway, apparently Lizzo is being sued again, but this time not by another artist, by 3 of her former backup dancers that danced with her from 2021 to 2023 until they, quote, were unjustly fired or forced to resign, end quote. Ariana Davis, Crystal Williams, and Noelle Rodriguez state that they were subjected to sexual harassment, false imprisonment, interference with economic advantage, and there are other claims, but those are the major big ones. But, okay, here's the thing, in my opinion. And keep in mind, I am not rich and famous whatsoever. I'm not rich nor famous. I guess you could say I'm infamous. Anyway, infamous. Okay. It was a bad joke. It was funnier in my head, okay? So you have to realize that, like, look what happened to, and I'm only using him as an example, Justin Bieber. He went from nothing to something overnight. And he had a little issue. He had a hard growing up because when you're thrust into that environment, especially at that young age, I'm not saying Lizzo is hit what age he was, but when you're thrust from no one to a hit, whatever, whether it be in acting or singing or whatever the case may be, YouTube hosting a showing, sometimes it can change a person. They always say, I've always heard a lot of people, not that I know a lot of people who have won the lottery, but like I think Dr. Phil one time did an episode with a couple of people who have won the lottery that hit rock bottom immediately after winning it because it changed them as a person. And, you know, so sometimes who you are as an artist is not who you are as a person. And so I really hope that people aren't looking negatively on Lizzo because of these accusations like they did with, in my opinion, which is why, in my opinion, she went off the show, or went off the air, but with Ellen DeGeneres. You know, I don't know, but that's just my assumption as to why she went off the air. But anyway, I just hope that it doesn't negatively affect her. I mean, the other two lawsuits of stealing someone's work really doesn't help her case, but yeah. There is some more drama coming out of rapper Blueface, who I honestly had never heard of until I found this article on TMZ. Apparently a while back he did a video where he was asking his 6-year-old son Javon if Javon was gay. And the internet went into an uproar because how dare you say it to a 6-year-old because they have clean minds and you shouldn't corrupt them with that crappiness and blah blah blah. And then there are some people who just thought you know, you're kind of being a jerk by asking your child this on camera live. But he did it again. That's right. He did it again. This time you can hear his girlfriend in the back saying something to the effect of, stop, quit recording, quit asking him that. And while Javon, the 6-year-old, was trying to change the subject, had no idea, obviously, what his dad was talking about, because he's only 6 years old. And then at one point, Blueface said to his son, if you're gay, I'll be disappointed, but I'll still love you. Okay, here's my thing with that. And to me, that's the worst thing that happened in this whole story. Because I remember growing up, there was one time when, well, several times that I've done things wrong. But anyway, when I was a little kid, I had gotten home from school, my favorite cousin was in town, and we were going to go out and play, and we were going to get muddy, and yada yada, and my sisters were there, and I remember my mom asking, are you wearing your school shoes? Or if you're wearing your school shoes, go change them. And I said, no, I'm not, when I really was, and destroyed my shoes. And I remember the words, this is the first time my mom and dad ever said this to me, which is maybe why it's engraved in my brain. But they said, I'm not mad at you, I'm just disappointed. That's like a knife to the heart. So telling your 6-year-old child that if you're gay, I'll be disappointed in you, what do you think that's telling him about being gay? You know, like, I just hate ignorant people. I hate ignorant people. Speaking, which is a great segue to this story, and here's a little fun fact about me doing the show a little behind the scenes fact. So when I'm putting shows together, I will find the pictures. I don't know where to look. I'm sorry, I'm always looking over here. But I don't know where to look because I hate watching myself in the monitor. And the TV, my big screen TV, is my monitor now, and it takes up half the wall. So I don't know where to look without having to watch myself. So I apologize if I keep looking this way. Anyway, I totally forgot what I was talking about. Behind the scenes. So when I find the pictures for each episode, I put them into a folder for each episode. And then I have also another folder that's just constant pictures, like the 1 through 10 numbers when I do the 10, or the logo, or, other things that I have pictures of that I just use on a regular basis. This guy's picture has joined that folder. Donald Trump has once again been indicted, this time by the feds. That's right. He was indicted and charged with defrauding America by having false electors and false certificates made. He is being charged with obstruction of the official proceeding, i.e., telling Pence that. Oh, and this is funny. He told Mike Pence, "I need you to send it back to the states because I won, blah blah blah, whatever." And Pence said, "I have no reason to do that. That's not the case. You lost the election." And Trump then told him, "You're too honest." And of course, when this first happened, Mike Pence would not say a bad word about Donald Trump. But now that Mike Pence has thrown his hat in the ring for president, all this negative stuff's coming out of his mouth. And now, for his slogan and a t-shirt, Mike Pence now has a shirt that says, "Too honest." Well, of course you're going to use that and plug yourself now. I mean, seriously? Anyway, he's also being charged with obstruction of and the attempt to obstruct an official proceedings, i.e. January 6th. And then he's also being charged with conspiracy against rights. And the indictment papers, all 43 pages, I believe, are almost parallel to what the January 6th committee found. From what I've been told, I haven't read it, and I'm not going to. But along with Trump, there are also 6 unnamed co-conspirators. I know, we all know one of them's Rudy Giuliani. One of them's going to be Sidney Powell, that bitch. Anyway, but yeah. So, and I love the fact that during this whole thing, first of all, they had to have video footage of Trump leaving the airport in New Jersey, and then one of him landing, because heaven forbid we don't know when his plane landed. They followed him along the road to the courthouse. I mean, you're doing exactly what Trump wants, and that's for you guys to talk about Trump. That's how he won the last election. I'm not joking. Look back. There's a Seth Meyers thing, and I will try to get the information, but Donald Trump got more airtime than all of the other candidates combined because he was doing such ridiculous stuff. People were talking about him. He was on the forefront of everyone's mind. Don't give him that pleasure. But I do think it's hilarious that the New York, his paper indictment, the chart and the Stormy Daniels pay thingy, that New York case doesn't meet again until December. I can't remember when Florida meets, but I want to say in January. This one, his third indictment, is starting August 28th or 26th. I can't remember. Do you not think that they are trying to get this going? I mean, obviously the man is running for president, so we need him to either be in the running or not be in the running and be in prison. But also, before I move on, if he is found guilty on all charges and given the max sentence, he will be serving 55 years in prison. Federal prison. It's 5 years for the defrauding charge, 20 years for each of the 2 obstruction charges, and then 10 years for the conspiracy against rights charges. So, fun. Don't you look forward to that, Trump? And here's another thing. What are you going to do in this situation? Because she's a female Jamaican. It's Trump. He hates women and he hates not white people. And then, so if you have a trial by judge, he's going to say that she was an anti-Trumper. How are you going to find a jury that's not tainted? Which reminds me, he's also been ordered not to talk to any of the witnesses immediately following the indictment until after the trial. He cannot talk to any of the witnesses, including Pence, including his running mates, not running mates, his lawyers. I mean, he can't talk to people. The judge said, I'm not afraid to throw sanctions down. And it was funny because as I'm watching it, someone in the courtroom, I was watching MSNBC, and someone in the courtroom had said something, or like was sending it to the report, to the station as they were airing it, to tell us like what was going on in the courtroom minute by minute. And at one point, I guess Trump's attorney kept calling him President Trump. The judge and the defense and everybody else in the courtroom referred to him as Mr. Trump. Because he's not president. Don't refer to him as president. Anyway, we're moving off this topic. And on to a happier one. That's right, everybody. It is that time of year, the season of giving. Anyway, it's every final season of the year. I always do my Toys for Tots campaign, and here again is how it works. For every new subscriber, and I meant to talk about this in the last episode. So prior to filming the last episode, I had 49 subscribers. Okay, so that's the information I'm going off of. If I get 50 subscribers, let me start over. For every new subscriber I get all season long, I'm going to donate $1 up to $50. That would get me to 99 subscribers. If I get 51 or more subscribers, I will double it and donate $100 to Toys for Tots. So please click that subscribe button and let's give some money away. As of filming this episode, I have one new subscriber. So, and I would like to introduce you all to not my Mountain Dew box with Toys for Tots written on it, but an empty peanut butter M&M container with Toys for Tots written on it. Just looks a little cleaner until I just stepped on it and bent it all over, all the smithereens. Anyway, and because I will probably need the money I would put in here until I have to pay the money, I'm going to use these little raffle tickets, plus I have a whole roll of them that I need to try and get rid of. So, there's $1 already in there. Every ticket will be $1. Mainly because I just want to get rid of the roll. Anyway, so that is the rundown for you today. And, you know, one thing we do on this show very well is when something just kind of works, we beat it to a dead horse. I'm sorry, PETA. It was a saying. Anyway. We are going to do the same sketch I did last time. That's right. It's time to get back inside my noggin for What is Josh Thinking? And here we go. Random thoughts I've had throughout the week. Why do we park on driveways and drive on parkways? I was walking around work bussing some tables the other day and cleaning the bar and just doing some stuff. And I just kind of stopped and went like this. And I thought to myself, I wonder if I could do a flip. I still don't know because I didn't try it. But it was just a random thought I had. I don't know why. Here's something I want to try and get going. I need your help, people. All right? Here's the thing. Why do we call the anniversary, which in my opinion, an anniversary is something to be celebrated? Okay? Why do we call the anniversary of somebody's death an anniversary? We're not celebrating it. I'm not going to celebrate the fact that my mom's dead. I think it should be hashtag death-a-versary. I'm not going to say death day because that's just morbid. Everybody has a birthday. Let's have a death-a-versary. Hashtag death-a-versary. Let's get it going, people. We're going to get it onto Urban Dictionary, and then we're going to get it into Merriam-Webster, and it's going to be a word. You're welcome. Death-a-versary. See, sometimes I can have good thoughts that are still good thoughts in my head. Why do we still circulate the nickel? Here's my thing with the nickel. You need 4 pennies to get to the nickel. I'm going to skip the nickel for a second. We need at least 2 dimes to start using a quarter. And then quarters to the dollars, right? You need 1 nickel Because if you have two, that's a dime. I think when you're born, everybody should be given one nickel, because that's all you ever need. You only ever need one nickel. Because if you have two, that's a dime. Get my point, people? Hashtag stop circulating the nickel. I think the nickel is stupid. And number 5, again, no intentions of getting another dog. Even when Taser's gone, I don't know what's going to happen. But if I do, is Jaws a better name than Crosby? Nah, I kind of like Crosby better. I like Crosby better. Anyway, so that does it for What Is Josh Thinking? It's time to get out your tissues, because I want to do a little honor memorial to my mom real quick. I'm not going to bring up her picture. I'm just going to read a little spiel. And it's time for a very special edition of My Take. Okay, so this is on another computer, so excuse me while I change my mice. My mouses? What's the plural for a computer mouse? I was told one time that it was Mises, but that just sounds stupid. Anyway, so I'm not going to try to bring you guys down. I'm trying to throw some humor into this, to make not lightheart of this, not to lighten the. Not to make the bad situation happy, but to lighten the mood. Lighthearted situation. I'm trying to make light of the situation. There we go. Anyway, so I'm not trying to be disrespectful to my mom if I crack a joke in here, because I know she wouldn't want me to be bawling my eyes out, and I'm going to try not to bawl my eyes out, even though I may get emotional at one point, because why do I think that? Because I have every rehearsal. So, without further ado, please enjoy. I'm sorry that I'm bringing the mood down right now, but I promise there's a point to all of it. Okay. When I was a kid, the biggest thing we were taught was to love one another, to respect one another, and to be yourself. For the longest time, I didn't know how to do any of that, nor know who I truly was. After I came out as gay, while there were some issues, well, because, hello, my parents weren't headless. They knew I was gay, but it had become reality. I still felt alone. I felt scared, but I always knew, because of what I was taught growing up, that they loved me and they respected me, and that I should be happy for who I am. But growing up Catholic, we're taught that it's wrong. And my family was big into religion. And I was still kind of ashamed, because back in the day, it wasn't something many people talked about or were proud of. And I remember every year on every summer we would go on vacation. And we'd load up our blue Astro van, and we'd pull out one of the two rows of seats, because back in that day, we didn't care if our kids were seat belted in or not. I mean, heck, you take out a row of seat, put a blanket down. Some kids can have more room and lay down even. And we even took our old black and white television, and in some random places could get it with an antenna, could get some reception and watch He-Man. That's the biggest one I remember. Anyway, sorry. But one year we decided that we were going to take a longer route and just take some more time, and we went through New Orleans down to Louisiana to Alabama, Georgia, and then made our way slowly to Daytona Beach, where we always went. And I remember my parents were talking about the gay community and how they were going to see it when they were down there. And I remember turning to my mom as we were walking down the French Quarter and saying to her, "Hey, point out a gay guy so I know who to stay away from." Because that's what was embedded in me. But now I'm proud of who I am. And I know that before my mom passed, she became proud of who I was also. The moral of the story is my parents accepted me for who I was with their love and support, and I am now the best me that I could be. I relied heavily on my mom, and I knew that whenever I screwed up, I knew my mom would be there to help me get out of whatever mess it was that I got myself into. The honest truth is, I did a lot of bad stuff. I lied, I cheated, I stole, and I felt whatever I could get away. I did whatever it was I could get away with because I knew my mom would be there to pick up the pieces. And I knew that in time, because it's my family's thing to sweep things under the rug, it would be forgotten. We care a lot about things in nowadays, which in my opinion, we care about the wrong things. We care about the financial things, the cha-ching, the bling, the everything that we shouldn't care so much about. I was talking with a coworker just today, and this isn't here, it just popped into my head, but I was talking with a coworker today about how commercialized Valentine's Day and Christmas, and it's becoming so commercialized because everybody cares about tangible items nowadays. And we don't care about the things that I was taught growing up. For example, we don't love each other. We don't love each other like we did when I was a kid. No, we bully our way into power. We don't respect each other because what we know and think is gospel, and how dare you think that I should have to go and educate myself so that I wouldn't be so ignorant to the situation and maybe, just maybe, understand where someone else is coming from. How dare you think that about me? It's hard to be who we are now because people are shaming us and trying to knock us down because of our height, our weight, our sexual orientation, our religion, our lifestyle, our gender identity, whatever the case may be. We need to get back to where we were when I was growing up, and I hope that only things can go up from here, that we have hit rock bottom. Finally, the biggest thing I remember being taught was to share. We shared our thoughts, our feelings, our toys, our candy, our love, and the hardest thing I had to do, even with my sisters and my dad, was to share my mom. And now I have to share her with God. I am happy knowing that her goal one day was to meet God, and she has. She always talked about how badly she wished she could see her parents after she lost them, and now she gets to be with them again. I know that in the last several years of her life, she was suffering from daily pain, as well as COPD from smoking. And I know she's out of that pain, and I know she's no longer smoking. I can close my eyes and picture her on the beach, because that's where she loved to be, on the beach, smoking a Virginia Slim full flavor or Misty full flavor, with my grandpa, who is smoking a pipe, and my grandmother behind them just doing that. I can picture the whole situation. Every night since her passing, when I take Taser outside for the last time before bed, I do a hitter, and I look to the sky and I said, Mom, I love you and I miss you every minute of every day. It's just one more time for me to be able to say I love you to her before I go to bed. The last thing I remember about my mom was when the doctor told us there was nothing more that could be done. She squeezed my hand and a tear streamed down her face. And at first I thought, maybe she's sad because she doesn't want to leave us. But I have to make myself believe that she was happy because she was going to see her parents. And thinking it that way makes me feel good that she was, and feel comfortable that she was welcomed with open arms into heaven. I know it's going to be a while before I see her again, and I know she's with me all the time. I don't have to go down to her house to talk to her. I can talk to her anytime I want. I don't have to share her anymore with my sisters and dad. But I know she's with me all the time. I want to dedicate this episode, as well as my birthday episode and the week before my birthday's episode, to my mom. That would have been the week of her birthday. And so starting tonight, after I finish this segment, I'm going to make a vow that not just on the show, but in real life, I'm going to try not to be sad for her anymore. Because the more I've gotten to think about it, the more I realized that she worried about me a lot. And because of some of the stuff that I did growing up. And she always worried about me, and she would lose sleep at night worrying about me, and whether it be with my headaches or my lifestyle or getting ready to move away for the first time, she always worried about me. And I know that every time I get upset and miss her, that she's worrying about me. Is he going to be okay without me? And I don't want her to do that. I want her to be able to rest. I want her to not worry. I want her to be pain-free. And so I am going to try, like I said before, not make light of her passing, but remember the good moments and not dwell on the fact that she's not here anymore. I want to thank you to everyone in the past, because like I've said before, 2 weeks after her death, I don't remember any of them. I do. The only thing I remember is after the funeral, I came home, I filmed an episode telling you guys all about her death, and I took a nap. That's all I remember, and I remember sleeping for like 4 hours, woke up because I knew I didn't want to sleep all night, otherwise I would have slept all night. Like, that's just how mentally exhausted I was. And I've had friends that have lost loved parents before, and they just say, I feel like I'm in a cloud. I feel like everything around me is fake. And you don't know that until you're living it. And since my mom's passing, and it's almost been a year now, I haven't made plans with friends because I don't know what mood I'm going to be in 2 days. Well, I can't do that for the rest of my life. And that's why I'm, like I said, making this vow to go out and do more and not wonder what my mood's going to be like, whether I'm going to be sad about my mom. I can't do that the rest of my life. I've got to stop it. And so I'm making that vow to you right now. And I just want to say, Mom, I love you. I miss you every minute of every day. And it's time for you to rest in peace. So it's time to put away the Kleenexes. Take about 10 seconds, because I think that's how long this intro is. It's time to look at some reasons as to why I don't have... Nope, that's the wrong mouse, Josh. It's time to look at some reasons as to why I don't have kids. And I just want to say thank you to everybody real quick before I move on for letting me do that. I know a lot of you could probably fast forward through that, and if you did, that's fine. But it's just something that I needed to do, and I needed to get some stuff out there. And so thank you for all of the thoughts, all of the condolences. I'm getting emails all the time. Honestly, I'm getting emails from people that watch the episodes, and especially the episode where I talk about her death, the week she died, and still sending condolences. So thank you still, thank you in the future. And this Friday, August 11th, and every August 11th, just if you are watching this and think about it, please keep my family in your thoughts, because we're dealing with that every August 11th. Anyway, moving right along. So these are some reasons as to why I don't have kids. Like, for example, you'll leave them alone for 10 seconds. Really? I have to say, though, I was a messy kid. And my mom would always tell me to go downstairs and clean up. And I would just, like, take everything from this spot and move it over here and just throw it on the shelves in the toy room. And, like, that would be my cleaning. You'll have to excuse me. My chair is broken, and I keep starting to sink down. So if you see me all of a sudden going like this, it's because, well, my chair is broken. Anyway, here's the next one. This child was left alone for 15 seconds. Just like, I don't understand kids. In this next picture, you can totally tell that the boy feels guilty for whatever it is they did. And the daughter, not so much. She's happy about it. Well, the boy is like, oh crap, we totally just got caught. We're going to get grounded for life. See, that was me. My sister my sister Mary Lou is the excited one. This picture I find kind of funny. Take a look at the mess for a minute, but if you notice right by the bucket, and then there's some like a Lego truck near it, there's a head underneath that blanket. That kid was so tired from playing with all of these toys that they just passed out. I do remember growing up, and my grandpa had gotten me a new baseball glove. And I remember going to sleep with the baseball glove. I actually have a picture of it somewhere. Anyway, here's the next one. This is something I've done actually before. We had an old couch that was a piece of crap, and it was in the basement, which was our play area. And I remember there was holes in the fabric, so I would just like start peeling out the pillow in the thing until all these little shreds of pillow came out. Yeah. I got away with a lot. Ask my sisters. Here's the next one. This is a beanbag chair that one of the kids dumped out. That's always fun. Totally fun. Oy vey. Again, that's why I don't have kids. Here's the next one. And I feel bad for this kid. He was just trying to help feed the dog. See, he's even pointing to where it goes. He just got it everywhere but where it goes. I like when kids point like this. Here's the next one. No. No, no. That's just too... Maybe it's because my sister had 4 boys that I'm just not used to girl toys being all over. I don't know. Here's the next one. This kid put himself in timeout because of the mess he made. Because he knew his mom was going to anyway, so I'll just put myself in timeout. And finally, and this is the big reason I don't have kids. Yeah. Wow. Anyway, so, you know, one of my favorite things to do on this show is to show you how stupid kids are. Because they are. That's why they're learning. Duh. I'm not saying all kids are stupid. But the ones that did this homework are stupid, because it's time to look at horrible homework fails in this week's edition of What's Wrong Here? Now, there's wrong answers, and there are smart-ass answers. Especially coming from a little kid who's learning how to count, add 7, 4 and 3 to 7. Well, they're supposed to give 2 ways of how to find the answer. Well, the first way the kid put, use your fingers. Duh. I mean, hello. I like how the teacher even gave the kid an F and then put A+ for creativity. I'm just going to read you a few. Where was the Declaration of Independence signed? On the bottom of the page. What river Ravi flows in which state? Liquid state, because water is liquid. What is the main reason for divorce? Marriage. What is the main reason for exams? Failure. Like, that kid has got some balls to answer that on a test. I mean, you could at least come up with some reason for something. Anyway. Here's the next one. Would you rather be stuck on an island with one person you hate or stuck all alone? This person said, I would rather be stuck on an island with someone I hate so I have something to eat. It's good thinking. Unless they have that same plan and take you down first. but you can't think negatively. Okay, I just lost my whole system. Just kind of, yeah, there we go. Okay, sorry. All right. So yeah, I don't know why this kid thought this was one of his spelling words, but I shit between friends. I don't want to know what's going on with that kid's in that kid's parents' house. I don't. Here's the next one. They have to write a sentence with the word suddenly and then draw a picture of the sentence. I suddenly farted. And I like how in the picture the kid put a bubble of oops. That kid got some bonus points for that. Here's the next one. Why would this be a spelling word, dude? Number 9, shit. I mean, it kind of looks like that's what the guy is doing. You could at least made a chair instead of just sitting on a stool. Making stool. Now this kid really has some nerve. This is why I wish that you could hit students again, spank them with a ruler on the wrist or whatever. Here's the question. You have to choose between 2 words as to what finishes the sentence or what best fits in the sentence. The man blank the dog, and the 2 words are fit or hit. The kid wrote, the man pet the dog, you should not hit dogs. I would give the kid credit. I'm sorry. I would give the kid credit because he's right. You should not hit dogs. I mean, that's just wrong. What ended in 1895? Or 1896? 1895. Here's the next one. Nope, that's the same one, Josh. Here's the next one. If I had 100 friends, I would blank. Turn off my phone. Hey, back in the day, you couldn't do that. Unless you put your phone off the hook, and then you just got annoyed by the phone going, because that's what it would do, and it would be off the hook for so long. And finally, this one makes me question the parents. Here we go. Ian asked Emma, would you rather have 3 dimes and 14 pennies or 4 dimes and 2 pennies? One is 44 cents, one is 42 cents. If you were Emma, what would you say? He said 4 dimes, 2 pennies, which is wrong because it's the less of the amount. Explain your answer. It's an opinion. Hey. You can't knock the kid for stating the fact of an opinion. Anyway. Something that has become a Facebook beauty pageant is the first day of school photos. So let's take a look at some fails in this week's edition of Funny Photos.
Drop it.
The look on this girl's face just says she's excited. She's so excited she forgot to write her sign. She just wanted to get to school. Here's the next one. Can you tell which one is throwing a fit? Here's the next one. Notice it was the boy, too. So I can't tell if this kid is sticking his butt to school or if he's dancing. Is he thinking school's poopy? I don't know. Here's the next one. This girl just looks miserable. So sad. She's just, ugh. My life has ended. This is the beginning of the end. No more me time. Here's the next one. This kid, I don't know what the sign says. And I don't care, just because this kid's face is hilarious. I mean, look at that face. I don't know whether that's a happy face, pissed off face, I have to poop and I'm constipated face. Here's the next one. Now, this isn't actually a kid holding a sign that's saying my first day of law school. But how would you like to go to your first day of school like this? Here's the next one. This kid really doesn't like the idea of going back to school. Here's the next one. Oh, no. Wrong button, Josh. There we go. Here's the next one. Now, this one I'm going to read. There's two kids. I think they're twins. Doesn't matter. There's two kids. I'm going to read one sign, and then I'm going to read the other sign as I show you the picture. Okay? Here's the first sign. It's my first day of kindergarten. The next kid's holding a sign that says, I hate school, and I refuse to hold up a sign unless it said that I hate school. Dude, you're too young to hate school. You're too young. School is fun. School is fun. Make friends. This girl just must not have any friends because she's just tired. She's tired. Well, that will do it this week and for the elementary school. So be sure to join me next week after the 13th. Probably. For next week when we take a look at the junior high kids. You know, the kids that think you're not cool enough because you don't only have 49 followers. You're not cool yet. Why do you try to promote Mountain Dew? That's such a low number. Because I love Mountain Dew and I'm having fun doing the show, so back off, nephew. Anyway. Watch. One of these days, I'm going to make it big, and he's going to eat those words. I'm kidding. He's the next Sheldon Cooper, so he's going to be big out there. Anyway, so be sure to join me next week when we talk about the junior high kids. But until next week, if you think there's something funny I should see and share on the show, be sure to send it to me. There's the show email address as well as my Twitter account. Please note that I took off my TikTok because whenever I get on there, I just get into the swipe vortex, and I just lose all sense of what I'm doing. I mean, it's been, like, I was on there one day, and it was like 3 hours later before I even realized it. Anyway, so while you have a second, please like, subscribe, and get the notifications anytime I post one of my episodes, as well as comment below, hashtag death-a-versary. Also, subscribe and make me put another ticket in that box and donate more money to Toys for Tots. Well, that will do it. I hope you guys have a good week. Be sure to remember that my show will be late next week, probably 99% sure. But until next week, everybody, please stay safe, stay healthy, stop the hate. And until next week, that's all I'm saying.